Yeah.
Alrighty, I guess we might
It's
as
like me
well
every day.
get this evening started, folks. Okay, Public Works and Maintenance, you're number one, the sign in the arena parking lots.
Excellent.
We're gonna fix it?
If that is okay.
Tell us why you're here.
Go for it, you gotta read your sheet.
Tell us your,
Didn't
read
bring
your
your
sheet.
information?
Trust me, I didn't bring that information last time. But basically, I know Amber and Andre have been talking about getting an electrical sign. So I did ask a sign company to give us a quote just for repair, because I was interested in knowing what that cost is. So both the bottom, the little 2 foot by 8 foot section is all over the place. There's some pieces missing and whatnot, so they quoted us on a replacement of that, which was $1,244. And then the top piece is the old logo with the wolf. I wasn't sure if there was some new one that we wanted to do, but it's blown in as well. So to fix that up, that's an 8 by 8 piece, and that's about $41.52 with taxes. So altogether, we're talking $53.96. Let's call it $5,400 at the end of the day. Good part about the sign that we currently have for advertisement is that if the power goes out, it's still advertising. So it doesn't necessarily need power except at night. So that's kind of my saving grace on that, is that if we fix what we got, at least we can advertise, move forward with our lives. So.
Chris, is that got LED bulbs in it, or you just got the regular fluorescent tubes?
It's just the regular fluorescent tubes right now.
Yeah.
I didn't get them to quote any of that replacement, but that's something that I think an electrician could probably easily go in, change the valves, change it to LED. Looks like it probably has 4 foot or 8 foot fluorescence in it, so there might be some modification, but that's pretty quick, easy.
Do we have any money in the reserve to cover this?
For recreation, Graham? Sorry, probably. I don't know. I didn't ask actually.
Specifically for this?
Okay. Do we, so we would take it out of operations? Is that what we're saying? Where would we take the money from?
Because it's repair, I would probably lean towards the operation maintenance side of it. Now, being that it's been in that state for X amount of years, that I mean, it could be a capital expenditure if need be.
Why wasn't it fixed earlier, just funding?
I'm not sure. Yeah, sorry, I don't have that information. I'm not sure.
Manager for 2 years.
What's that?
Central maintenance manager for 2 years.
That's always a bad excuse that,
Is it?
well, my
So
opinion
that's
is.
both
Maybe not in an
that you
accountant.
ever replaced?
Yeah,
Nobody's watching
yeah, both
the,
north and south sides.
watching the big picture of this stuff.
Well, it's pretty easy though, Graham, like I'm not talking about fixing a roof. You have a sign that's broken, it's physically broken, I think everybody sees it. It's not that we lost control of the condition of a building where it slowly deteriorated over time. I think that,
I can
I'm just
ask
curious
Andy.
of why it wasn't repaired, that's all.
See, I brought this up before, and I don't know whether or not you can, this question can be answered by either destination marketing or the neighborhoods, what's that called, Neighborhoods Alive now, what's it called, your Community Renewal Corporation. But is this, I mean, in terms of destination marketing, if you go with the big sign, I mean, it could be used to advertise whatever is in the community. In terms of bringing kind of heads and beds, the amount of money that hockey teams from outside spend in here in terms of rooms and stuff, I think you could find a way to fit it in if someone writes up a grant application. Now, I don't know if that'll be looked at as upon we're, looking for money from a non-profit place to keep up town infrastructure and we should just pay for it ourselves. I don't know, but I'm not sure if it fits into those guidelines or not, or we go that route, or
The advertisement side is only that 2 feet at the bottom, right? It's just a big plexiglass picture.
Right.
Okay, so I guess the first question for council is, this sign is our image, right? It's our face to the community. Number one, should we be fixing it?
Yes, it should be fixed.
General consensus is we fix it? Yeah. So we agree that we fix it?
Yep.
Now, just the question is, where are we taking the money from?
That's the question. question.
That's the question.
I agree, it needs to be repaired.
Did we put it in the budget? Did we? I don't recall.
No, that's not, no.
No, so it's not in the budget for this year?
There's reserve funds, but any use of these reserve funds takes away from
Probably something else.
something else. And I mean, this is going against the same infrastructure fund that we're using for the lagoon, basically. Right?
Is there a building maintenance reserve at the rink?
There's a arena renovation one, but it has been pretty tapped out. I'm trying to remember what the balance is.
Yeah, there's not.
There's not a lot in there.
Okay.
I don't know that, well, whatever, it's up to you.
We
so-
probably have a priority of things that we need to do that got like this because of whatever the reason. But if we're talking about pride in our community, you gotta have a list that we gotta go after. And if I walk into a place that's used that often, I would probably think you would want that place looking good. You have a lot of visitors from out of town. That would be high on my list, but again, I don't have the list of other things that are broken that may tap the reserves.
So, I guess, so going forward, so council is in general agreement that we need to fix the sign,
Right.
right? Did you get more than one quote, Chris, or just the one quote?
I received one at this time.
Okay.
I can try and reach out and
The-
get more, but
Because that's the worst case scenario right now, right? If you get another quote, it'll be cheaper, or we won't take the higher one. So my suggestion would be to get Eldrin to tender it,
okay.
right, get some quotes, and by the time those quotes come back, we will have finished the budget, and we will have found a place to come up with that money.
We can't go to tender without it being budgeted or approved by council.
Okay, well, the general consensus is that, can we ask for RFPs?
Not unless it's gonna be an operating item. I mean, like, yeah, if this is gonna be a capital item, if you're considering this, you're gonna draw it from the reserve, it should be approved by council. If it's just gonna be an operating item, and there's gonna be no reserve draw, potentially,
Well, how do we go
we could go
shop?
and get quotes.
Yeah, like, I'd like to
But
get
then-
quotes.
Yeah, just get quotes.
Then we'll have to
Tendering.
we'll have to do the process again once it's done.
God, you're gonna
It's
love
just
government,
unless
eh?
I'm really-
You gotta love government. How do we go shopping? That's what I want to.
I'm just wondering with the cost being as it is, if
Probably
we,
fix this in the budget based on the numbers he has, and then move forward with
Yeah.
that. That's probably the,
can still shop for a couple quotes, make sure that we
Yes.
still get the right price.
Yes,
Yeah.
And
and
if
you can
it
still
ends
say
up-
no at any point
Right.
along the way.
okay, so let's do that. Let's at least
Get
figure out
quotes.
what this is gonna cost. And then we'll figure out where the money's coming from.
Can you go and comment too? I had Ken Kelly come into my office from Rotary inquiring about a digital sign. And I had sent him in Amber's direction, and I don't know where that went, or I could always
Oh.
follow up with that.
Yeah.
And I do know CKP has received the request, and it is on the list of things to review in the future, but as I mentioned to Chris or Sam, that this should, likely might not happen this year, so.
Is that Lexon, or what kind of material is that?
I'm not sure what the existing material, I'm assuming it's probably like a plexiglass. That's kind of, or Lexon, I think Lexon is a company name, but be some sort of polycarbonate material.
My, while we're shopping, or whatever we're calling this these days, would it be possible to get some pricing on converting it to LED?
Yeah, for sure.
We did that on one of our large signs,
Mhm.
and our maintenance costs have just plummeted.
Oh, or that.
So if, it might be some short-term pain for long-term gain, because it made a huge difference.
For sure.
Okay, so we're all on the same page?
Yep.
Cool.
Quotes and change to LED.
Quotes, yeah, shopping, come back to us, we'll figure it out.
Perfect.
All right, thank you, Chris. Okay. Are you the Civic Center boiler guy?
Oh, yeah, that's me too.
That's you too?
Yep. So I'm still here.
Okay, let's talk about the Civic Center boiler.
Alrighty. So not necessarily new information to bring forward, but more information, hopefully to help.
Yep, go ahead.
So we have brought this forward already once, but basically this happened with the last council. We sent it out for RFP, came back, 4 different companies. We have Mac Tower, LBE, Brandon, and NRG. In that RFP, we asked for any 3 of the options, electrical, propane, or geothermal. We want to hear from all these companies what were the solutions that they want to come up with. And so we ended up getting responses from all the companies for propane. At Mac Tower was the only one that actually came to us with propane, electrical, and geo. And both the propane and electric, very similar in cost, electric being a little bit $60,000 more. I will note though, the electrical install, I'd be leery because there may be more costs involved with bringing the power to this building. I've done a little bit of searching to get some information on how much that was going to cost from Hydro. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get that to this meeting. But just to keep that in mind, that there may be some additional costs with the electrical. So, but at the end of all this, basically, we're recommending the lowest cost here. The lowest cost was Mac Tower. They had both the propane and electric. It really is I'm going to leave that up to council on how they want to proceed with that, whether propane or electric. Doesn't matter on our part. Both are efficient. I know that electricity is definitely going to be the greener choice here, and with carbon tax coming into play, it might be a smart move for us to go that route instead. Now, if the propane boiler, if this is a little bit too big of a pill to swallow because of the cost, the other alternate solution which we did include in our budget was to repair the thermostats in this building. As I'm sure you guys noticed, in the wintertime, it gets sweltering in this room, and there's other rooms around the office building that have the same issue. A lot of it is to do with the solenoids and the thermostats not functioning, obviously, so you're getting 100% heat into the building. And the only way that we're able to modulate it somewhat is to tweak the boiler to kind of help with the heat the heat within the interior of this building. So I think, if anything, at least if we upgrade the thermostats, we'll definitely see a savings right off the bat.
What does that cost?
We put in about 35,000 into a budget.
Is it reusable? Like, it's reusable anyways. You'd have to do that with either system?
Yeah, like we do it no matter what. But it would be kind of the least cost to us with the highest amount of savings.
Could you start with that and then put in an electric after?
Yeah, I think initially when he came, he said it would be beneficial to us to do the boiler change at the same time, instead of drain everything out
Oh, yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So you'd be saving some
Yeah.
incremental costs. But if our choice is nothing or that, I mean, it's still better to do a little than nothing and try to impacts and reduce things. It's not lost.
So it's been years, right, since we've addressed these thermostats. Have we ever done anything to them?
I'm pretty sure these thermostats are existing to this building.
So they're way past their service
1971.
date.
Yeah.
So these operate the zone valves, and
They're all like low voltage thermostats.
that operate the the zone valves to let the liquid run through.
Yeah.
So are the zone valves back at the boiler, or are they here by the thermostats?
In each room they have their own.
They have their own zone?
Yeah.
Okay. I think for sure we should be addressing the thermostats. At the very least, we should be addressing the thermostats. The issue on propane or electric, we were way over budget this year on propane costs, weren't we? Like, we were way over budget. And the issue from my perspective with propane isn't the efficiency, it's the fluctuations in pricing. And there's no recourse for that. You know, the Stitco bill goes up 10 cents, it drops 2 cents. It goes up 4 cents, it drops 6 cents. You know, so from a budgeting perspective, it's terrible. There's no question electricity's going up, but it might be 2% this year, 2% next year, 2%. Not, we were 40% above budget, Graham?
It was a lot.
It was a lot. It was so much, there was no point budgeting it. It was ridiculous, right? So that's my concern about propane. I think its day is done in some ways. because-
I agree with you here, but I'm a fan of the electric option, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like this is, from a budgeting perspective, this is terrible.
But right now in capital, we have only enough for the propane one, right?
Either.
We have that.
Depends on where you want to spend it.
I can't recall offhand what the amount
Put the
we
motion in the
budgeted.
budget to be discussed.
I thought it said somewhere we have enough for the, whatever,
Yeah.
but, okay.
And what was the annual savings of electricity again, with the upgrade? I can't remember.
You know, they didn't, the Mac Tower didn't provide us with that
I think the
information.
payback was like 9 or 10 years or something.
Yeah, I know, I remember seeing it somewhere where,
Yeah, no, NRG did provide us with a payback, but that was based off propane though. And they specified like 15 years. I recall there being information in the geothermal feasibility study.
yeah, that's what I'm looking
Yeah,
at. I
that
remember
was
seeing
around a decade or so for electric.
Electric got the best
Best payback, yeah,
in that geothermal.
yeah.
Yeah. And that
Whether
was
that
it.
translates to real results, I don't know.
Well, and they're using a average propane price of 68 cents a liter or something?
Yeah,
I
we're,
think our most recent fill was 82.
where we're at?
It's pretty high. I could be off by a penny or two, but it's way more than
Is
68,
propane better?
Yeah.
you know? Okay, so, we've got the budget discussion coming up further on down the road, and it's gonna be interesting. So, it's hard for us to give you a straight answer right now.
And that's fine, this was really just to bring us back up, get the conversation started again.
Yes.
That's it.
So 7.6 years for electric. And everybody else is, the next is 15 years,
That's really easy.
15, 12.
And there may be incentives out there for hydro.
Yeah,
That too, yeah.
No promises on anything.
oh, exactly, yeah.
Okay, any more questions for Chris on this one? It's not that we're putting it to bed, but he's bringing it up and we've
That's
got
good.
our budget coming.
Good.
We're good? All right, thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Planning and development, zoning amendment, oh, we're got to this already, okay.
So again, I stepped out there, should I step out again on this? Yeah? Wish it was at the end of the meeting.
No, that'd be too easy.
Oh, yeah, well,
I can guarantee you.
Okay, so we heard from the public, now we have an issue sheet from the assistant CAO.
It's fairly straightforward. Earlier tonight, there was a public hearing regarding the amendment from 100 feet to 75 feet for the lakefront lots. Council needs to discuss the public hearing and the information that was presented and how you wish to move forward. I apologize for all the information being added. I received it at the last minute. I received it at 4:20 today. So there's, what I read out in the public hearing were the little letters and comments, and then there's attached more information supporting them with their comments. Manitoba Sustainable Development was Parks and Regional Services do not support the bylaw amendment. Manitoba Sustainable Development, Water Science and Watershed Management does not support the bylaw amendment. Manitoba Sustainable Development, Water Stewardship and Biodiversity do not support the bylaw amendment. The Community and Regional Planning Branch Thompson Office does not support the bylaw amendment. And then they provided their rationale. I don't know if you want me to read all their rationales.
What do you guys think?
They did state, please correct me if I'm wrong, did they state in there that each lot should be looked at individually?
No, they did not.
And that a variance? I heard the
Oh,
word
yes,
variance
sorry,
in
yes,
there.
yes.
That's the other option.
That was another option.
Isn't that was the recommendation,
It is
other than not changing?
It is recommended that if certain matters can be dealt with through variation applications, that this would be the desirable and most prudent path to take in terms of resolving outstanding issues. It is also recommended that if any variations are to be considered, that they do not allow any part of a built structure to encroach more than 10 feet into the 100-foot setback, as this would be within the 10% variation limit that can be approved directly and without public hearing by the Town of the Pot administration staff.
So still wouldn't fix our problem.
No.
No, because you probably have everyone coming,
Yeah, so.
so you'd have
It would just
22
become a-
variations.
Yeah, everybody come for a variation.
10 feet into the 100?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Age.
I know, I'm gonna hate giving into it.
What do you think, Mr. Ward?
I think we should just go ahead, and it's our bylaw, and we have support for it from the people who are out there, and if we go to the variation way, it's going to be 22 people coming in, applying for a variation, it's going to be a nightmare. 75 feet lots.
Mr. Lane?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'd rather, if we're gonna change it, it's just, well, to make the one change, and then, I mean, I do have a bit of an issue with, I think I don't know how admin feel about it, that they were saying no, 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 and now we're making the change, but if we're gonna make it, it's just as well to make the one change and not have 100 variances there. I mean, it's tough for these individuals to say no, 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 without having, I mean, whatever, they say read whatever report, I suppose, but they haven't included any environmental information that is raising my eyebrows as to why we can't go in 25 feet. And I know we're talking about a town owned land, not the parks, but it is a tough pill to swallow when you do take a drive around parks and see building after building, whether it's the actual main household or a sauna or shed or garage or whatever is. So part of the issue with me is if you're going to make these recommendations, then look in your own backyard before you start talking about what the town of the Pond is proposing to do.
Ms. Atkinson?
Who recommended the 100 yards in the first place? Town of the Paw or
Sustainable development.
Sustainable development.
And when the lots were set up, was it just a was it a recommendation from Sustainable Development, or was it, this is what it should be?
It was a recommendation.
In the beginning, I think it was 22 meters, 66 feet that they had allowed, and then it came back with the recommendation to go to 100 feet. Isn't it, Jen?
In February 11th, 2009, the subdivision application, Manitoba Water Stewardship has reviewed the referenced file and forwarded the following comments. A 30-meter undisturbed native vegetation area is recommended for lands adjacent to Clearwater Lake. Alterations with this undisturbed vegetation area is limited to a maximum of 25% of the shoreline. And this was in order to protect riparian, is that how you say it?
Riparian.
Riparian areas established and maintain an undisturbed native vegetation area via a public reserve or development agreement registered as a restricted convent in Manitoba Land Titles Office on both the subdivided area and any residual located upslope from the ordinary high water mark and adjacent to all water bodies and waterways connected to the provincial surface water network. The department recommends to include the following as a condition of the subdivision approval.
And I think if you go to the Portage Land Claims or Portage Land Titles, the way it's registered at 22 meters back, right?
I don't recall that.
No?
So when people started to clear their lots, were some of them not told that they needed to replace vegetation?
They were all
Because
told they had to replace their vegetation. Letters were sent out.
So have people started to replace that vegetation that we're
It
aware
was
of?
probably too cold by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be too late
It
in the
was late in
year.
the year?
Yeah. So do you think we should proceed with it or not proceed with it?
It's gonna have to go to second reading regardless, and then you vote.
Oh, regardless, even if we
Yeah.
all said, no, we don't wanna do it?
It still has to
Oh,
go
okay, I
for
didn't
second
know
reading,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
sorry, yeah, it still has to go for second and third reading, and it's either defeated or
Okay.
approved, so it still has to go, so a decision doesn't have to necessarily be made right now, because the resolution will come forward
Okay,
for
Okay.
second reading, and then you can make your decision then.
Then,
so we can, be on the next agenda for?
Yeah, it'll be on the next council agenda.
Next council agenda?
For second
reading.
reading.
Second and third?
Second and third, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, it's usually second and third, but if council wishes to proceed with this proposed, I'm reading from the
Yep.
community. If council wishes to proceed with this proposed bylaw after reviewing all local and provincial written verbal submissions, bylaw 4592 may be given second reading. Please forward 2 certified copies of the bylaw with second reading and copies of any local objections to this office for review by the minister. They're not saying anything about third reading, and I have never seen that because we've always done second and third reading at the same time. So I will get clarification, because we've always done
Yeah.
second and then third reading and passed it.
Okay.
So second reading will come for sure, possibly third, if that's all right.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely, let's move
Good.
forward. Okay,
yep.
Andre, you can come back. Okay, airport airside, airport runway crack sealing tender.
The airport needs approval from council in order to proceed with issuing tender 01-2019, the Paw Airport runway crack sealing. Historically, the runway maintenance was completed yearly, however, no crack sealing was conducted in 2017 or 18. The surface condition must be addressed this year to ensure compliance with regulations. Waiting for the 2019 budget to pass on May 31st would delay the issuing of this tender by an additional 3 weeks. We have identified approximately 2,963 meters of cracks to be filled on the active runway. These cracks are varying in depth and width, and the majority of the cracks are 1 to 3 inches deep and 1.5 inches wide. Although several cracks are in worse condition and require immediate attention this summer. It would be a public tender, but they've budgeted $50,000 for this, and they're asking for council's approval to move forward. Randy has made comments here that this has to be done and move forward. Money to be expended from the airport reserve. There's approximately $430,000 in that reserve.
And when we did the airport tour, he showed us those cracks, right?
Yeah.
So it's good. So the consensus is we move forward with the resolution?
Right.
Right? A question though, or a comment, in our budget, we've identified that we would like to spend around $400,000 a year in road repairs. There was some issues or discussion about mobilization and companies being in the area. Would it be wise of us to talk to this group to see if they could do some crack sealing within the town of the Paw?
Absolutely, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Good. Great. Let's fix those streets. Alrighty, walking path update. Issue sheets.
See you.
What?
Sorry.
I don't, is he in a conflict on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives
He
here.
lives next door.
Yeah, well, we all live in town.
Well,
He wanted to come to call.
Okay.
yeah.
See if the company can do. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't.
On March 5th, 2019, Councillors Ward, Atkinson, and the Mayor met with 6 citizens of the town of the Paw to discuss the closure of 3 walking paths on Cudmore and Harvey. The group came up with the following ideas, and administration was directed to look into the costs for the following: more lighting, which would be through hydro, steel fencing to go over existing fences, and cameras. I've provided a breakdown. It's not cheap. I spoke to Hydro to supply and install the installation of a 150 watt square path walkway light on a 20-inch standard pole, which is similar to what's already there, would be $4,000 per fixture, and it would be $206 per year after that. Fencing, the purchasing agent sent out a few emails, and Pioneer Fencing did not want a quote. And then, I don't know if you want me to go through all the prices there.
We can
Okay.
mention them, yeah.
Wallace and Wallace, a 6-foot-high black welded wire fence, $11,296.42. Plus, these do not include GST. This would be panels, posts, and caps, brackets for the panels. Labor and installation was $18,000, so that would be a total of $29,296.42 plus GST. And then there was a cost to upgrade it to green. The cost was $11,736 to have it green. Pulver Fencing Limited, same 6-foot-high black double welded wire fence, $23,436. Labor and installation and freight was an additional $12,600. And they also quoted for an 8-foot-high black double welded wire fence, $28,712.20, and then the labor and installation and freight for that was $13,500 for a total of $42,212.20 plus GST. I had a hard time with cameras. Sam helped me with this. There was 2 different kinds. We were looking at trail cameras. They're cheaper, but then we'd have to contend with battery requirements, constant memory replacement. These would only capture motion, wouldn't be great for identification purposes. Quickly looked on Amazon and they range from $70,000 to about $170,000, but a good one with motion activation starts around $300. Other option was wired outdoor camera system. This would be more expensive. Network and access. Would we want a network and access or no network? Who will look after reviewing them? Hydro has also advised that we cannot put anything on their light poles, including the cameras. We would probably be required to put up signage indicating that premises are under video surveillance. We would need to make sure the cameras are installed in a manner not to infringe on the privacy of those living adjacent to the paths, high enough and out of the way where they cannot be easily damaged or vandalized. I know Brian Campbell does a lot with cameras and stuff, so we could always talk to him for a little bit more information and stuff too if we need. I'm hoping.
I spoke to Sam about this.
You did? Okay, Sam did help you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem is you don't have anywhere to plug stuff in. You have nowhere to get onto the internet. You have to buy a fiber optics line, and there's no provisions for all that. So you're kind of stuck. It's a tough one. If the neighbor wanted to do it for you, you could work with a neighbor, but to stand alone is very difficult.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now this is to do the 3 walking paths, is that what this is?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that to do the one on Cudmore to the west, the one on Cudmore to the east.
And behind Harvey. Or sorry.
Oh, yes, right, okay, yeah.
Is it Harvey?
It's Harvey, yeah. I'm still calling them Cudmore.
Yep.
There's 2 there, okay. Okay, so we had lengthy discussions with the residents in the area, and they're quite frustrated, obviously. So one of the ideas that came up was to fence the walking paths with some metal fencing, some wire fencing, and there are some very attractive options that are quite functional. So we thought we would bring this back for council to discuss. It would have been nice if we had more of council here, but it's almost a committee report.
Well, would we have to do them all in 1 year?
No.
Because if we were to do that, and we could break this down, it'd be probably about, I don't know, $13,000 a year, roughly. But we would see if it's worthwhile or not. And we kind of got told by the planner guy or whatever that we really can't close these down, right? So, I don't know, but I don't know if the 6 foot's high enough.
Well, you can't,
Yeah.
is it not a bylaw that you can't have a fence over 6 feet?
It is?
I'm
Oh,
pretty
there you
sure.
go.
There you are, then that ends that, yeah. Good.
Variance.
No,
Yeah, the
Variance.
town will do variance.
so anyway, this would still go further on into budgets after, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we needed to get this on the table because we're nearing the end of the budget cycle,
Right.
so we had to get this into the loop.
Right.
And the citizens.
And the citizens want to know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was in on those meetings.
Yes.
And I still don't know, not that this is a bad idea, I'm not saying that, but I don't know how fences will just make the vandalism and make everything better. It could keep their property clean. I just don't know how it keeps the actual people out of the walking paths. But that's not what the goal is, right? It's
No.
just so that the property owners can maintain their fences?
Right, so they can maintain some security on their properties.
And would they need to, they'd still need to have their own fence on the flip
Yes.
side, right? Just needed to be clear on that. Thank you.
I think with the 6 feet, I think I'm glad you mentioned it, because I think some of the fences that are there now are above the 6 feet. So we're gonna put a fence that's gonna be lower than the fence that's currently there. We're gonna bring it back. People are gonna throw all their trash and all their garbage between their fence and our fence. We're not gonna be able to get at it, and they're gonna complain saying that you guys need to get in behind there to clean up all that trash behind the fence. Okay, so I don't know if the fence is gonna be I've seen it before where they put the chain link and it's been a mess. So, I like the cameras and the lighting, but I don't necessarily think that the fence is there, you know. But, I don't, and this, are we talking like a chain link fence? Is this-
No.
No,
No.
it's a different style.
It's a different
Yeah,
style.
okay.
And you could probably leave it, like if it's 6 feet, you could probably leave it X number of inches off the ground so that you can clean out underneath.
Yeah, something, you know. It, we have to do something, right? These people have been through so much.
Well, this is going on 9 years?
Oh,
8 or 9
longer than
years?
that.
Longer than
Yeah,
that?
longer than that. It's been a long time since I lived next to Cudmore.
Yeah.
It's been going on quite a while. So we need to do something, and I think when we get further back into the budget considerations, we should look at this pretty closely.
Yeah.
We have a couple of other sources through our combination fees and the community enhancement fund or things like that, where we could look at it, and we might be able to phase it in over 2 or 3 years. The labor and installation seems excessive to me.
Well,
And I'm wondering why if we got the supplies, that maybe we could source the labor locally for less.
probably, because you're not gonna be moving guys up,
No.
putting them in hotels, feeding them and
No.
everything else.
And these are very straightforward fences to
Yeah,
put
there's
up.
nothing hard to them.
You know. Maybe we could have a community fence raising
Instead of a barn raising.
instead of a barn raising.
How many fixtures would we need to replace? Would there be one at each end, or not replace, upgrade? Is there
One.
one at each
I think they
end?
were wanting 3 on each path, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, I
Three
don't
or
remember
f-
the
I
exact.
think
Well,
it was-
there's
they wanted 3
actually
or
one
4.
in at this end, so we can put one in at this end. So it'd be like one extra fixture at each walkway,
Okay, so we would need to do 3 then.
3, yeah.
So like around the community, we pay for all the hydro lights,
Yeah.
is my understanding, right? Jen, what do we pay per month for those?
It varies.
$10?
17 something, wasn't it?
So,
I had that for you.
Yeah.
I think,
I don't
I think it was
remember.
like 23 something.
so is there any reason why we couldn't take the same arrangement with these? As opposed to having to spend the $4,000, we spend $17 a month?
This is, we'd still spend the 206 per year. The $4,000 is to have it installed.
I realize
Oh, yeah.
that, but we don't pay for those lights. Like, we don't pay for the purchase of those lights uptown, do we?
We probably did at one point.
Do we? So if we put a light in the back lane, we buy that light?
Yeah.
Really?
Probably, yeah.
Or if we want additional streetlights where
We
they're-
pay for
where
it.
they haven't capped them, we pay for those too.
And usually streetlights in the back lanes are paid for through a special levy or a special service levy, and the homeowner pays for it.
Yeah, no, I knew some of that, but I thought the fixture was included in the monthly rental. No? Wow. Good to be a monopoly.
Lighting's not cheap.
Okay, so in saying that, do we have to buy Manitoba Hydro's lights? Can we supply our own lights?
Yeah, you can buy them through Excel, you can buy them through whoever. Or Ecom.
$4,000 in the private world will get you a lot of light.
Just get Aldrin to source a cost of lighting from Ecol or somebody else, or B.A. Robinson or whatever.
Nothing's easy, it seems. Okay, so we need to make a bit of a decision. Are we generally, we like the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move it back into the budget later
Yeah.
on to talk about some more. Okay, good. Thank you. The missing counselor may come back again.
Hey, Andre.
The missing counselor.
Is there anything else you need to excuse yourself from this evening?
Yeah, sitting beside Carrie for like 3 meetings in a row here, I think that should be some bylaw for that or something. Oh, this is my outside voice.
All right, payroll and accounts, the disbursement reports.
So a resolution will be required for the following: pay period number 8 in the amount of $93,386.56. Town of the Paw general checks in the amount of $469,896.49. EFTs in the amount of $131,493. Sorry, $131,493.57. There were a couple of checks here. Oh, and then there was accounts in conflict for $4,606. So there'll be a number of resolutions for checks, as there was checks for AMM. I guess I will have to use these. There was a check in the amount of $8,250 for Richard Bedard. It was for tender 1028, which was approved by previous council for airport consulting. This consisted of current aviation fuel storage and dispensing, review of current activities required by CSA B836, checking of all fuel testing equipment, provided list of required equipment needed to perform quality testing of the fuel, assist in the procurement of equipment, creating log sheets to document daily, weekly, monthly, semi-annual, and periodic tests, provide a written report for all operational non-compliance issues, and to provide training to the 4 to 6 staff members on how to correctly use and test equipment.
Was that in addition to us rehiring somebody to do it this time? Or is
No,
that the same
no, this
company?
is still the same company.
Okay.
What was that, Brian?
So it's just billed by percentage change.
There was a check for $13,096.27 for the Paw Handy Van. This was for the Mobility Disadvantage Program. The province funds it. They provide the town with the check, and then we just in turn give it to the recycling center, or the handy van. There was a check in the amount of $11,004.69 for 7580232 Manitoba. This was for airfield services at the airport. Jeans Telecoms in the amount of $14,675. This was setting Sam up to be working out of the garage for internet and access to the software. Another check for Great North GM, $93,107. This was for 2 public work trucks, which was approved in the 2018 budget. AMM Trading Company in the amount of $15,029.18. This was for fuel. 2 checks for tax service, $7,913 and $8,249. This is for tax service during the tax sale process. However, these amounts are put back onto the property owners and we get our money back. That was it, unless anybody had any more questions about them.
Yeah, $5,169, J.R. Cousins again. Like, it seems like every time we go through, we have another J.R. Cousins for, and this
I
just
think they
says,
just bill as they finish stuff.
This is just trailer costs on the road. They bid at $400,000 for the total project, and they're not there yet, so they're just billing at their time. I'm sure we'll see if you want to. I think there was about 13,000 carried into 13 or 20.
Infrastructure renewal plans.
yeah, but we
It's
just
just trailer
paid,
cost on the road.
we just paid like 13,000 last
Yep.
You
meeting.
know how much is left owing?
Yeah, the bills come and they show exactly what's left each time.
So is it, why would it, like, why, I mean, that just, that's kinda how they set up the payments, or
I assume they're billing based on time. I mean, they're still within,
are they still working on stuff with that right now? So who would sign off on their time? So,
Balance to finish,
there is a balance to finish. based
yeah,
on it.
according to this, it's 17,000.
Like, it just seems like every,
I think they're just slow in their.
Are we
their
still
billing.
within budget? Are we still, yeah, we're still within budget?
okay, well,
The one for the airport, the $11,000, what was that for?
The airfield for lights, airport electrical services in the airfield.
So is that the new guy? That's not Wally, eh?
No.
no,
It was both of them this time.
I'm sorry?
The new guy was taken out there by whoever the experienced guy was.
Yeah.
Because he's handing it off and he's gonna be on TV, I don't know. I was reading the bill, I was shaking my head going, I don't quite understand.
so Wally was charging his time to this guy, and this guy billed it all together?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep. And this will be the company that's used
For
for,
going on.
for moving forward.
So how much work did he do for $11,000?
Try to bill for next time. Or does she have it?
invoice,
It was a detailed
It wasn't detailed, Graham?
bill. No, I said, I think it was a detailed bill.
Excuse me.
It would have been signed off by your partner.
22786.
No, because I'm just getting number. Water. Man in the shadows.
It was from September 30th to October 5th. It doesn't say exactly what was done.
Can I see?
I can get more details to exactly what was done.
How often are we gonna need this fella?
I wouldn't know.
Be a good question for Bill.
yeah, it's, well, I guess the next one will be when they bring him in to do that beacon. But,
So he was here for less than a week. He charges 56 hours at $125 an hour, $100 a day for the truck, $167 a day for the hotel, $50 a day for meals, $1,400 in materials, and $309 in fuel.
Seem unreasonable when you add it to pieces.
I'm just wondering, like, I understand the AB thing is a specialized gig, I get that, right? But, you know, $11,000 for, is there no local service providers we can get trained?
Wally was the
Roan
one.
was talking about that, and she said that she couldn't get Trev's, and then, it's specialized equipment, and Wally knew it, so Wally was kind of training this guy in it, so that he knew, and from there, so I don't know if there's anybody locally or not.
So with aviation, it's all high risk. Does he carry the right type of liability insurance, and are we named on his policy?
Something we check into, I guess.
We need to know that.
Yeah, his WCB and his insurance.
Well, especially with the insurance, right? Even if you want to do oil changes for the province, you have to name the province on your insurance policy.
Yeah,
So if we're dealing with aviation, we need to make sure we're protected.
this guy's out of Flin Flon, correct?
Portage la Prairie.
Portage? Oh, I
Oh,
thought he was from Flin Flon.
Portage la Prairie, I'm sure it just said that, didn't it? Yeah.
He does Flin Flons as well.
I can look into it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think Flin-Flon was fine, it was just hours that needed to be looked at, is it not? Isn't that why you came?
I don't know, Mary. I don't know. It'd be nice to know a
The
bit more.
email that was attached to this from James Lindsay, the airport manager, said this will be the company that they use from now on for any electrical work.
I wonder if, Wally's been doing it for 20 plus years, right? we've probably got some history on the number of hours he bills us for in a year. Could we do a comparison based on if we use these folks as much, how much it's going to cost us? You know, including the travel costs? And then just average it out.
Resolution.
Yeah, any other questions on this stuff, folks? What did we lift? What did we need the crane for?
The pump, deep well pump.
Oh,
Holland-
okay, all
Holland.
right, cool, yeah,
Yeah.
great. Any other questions on payroll and accounts? Okey dokey, 6.3, invoice from the RM of Kelsey. Issue sheet.
Payment of the attached invoice from the arm of Kelsey is for 1/3 repayment for Kim Ballantyne for tri-council work. The attached invoice and letter from Kim Ballantyne were presented to council on September 10th, 2018. The invoice was for $6,750, which is work from December 2017 to August 2018 that she had done for tri-council. Ms. Ballantyne was wanting the tri-council to pay this, which meant the town's portion would be $2,250. Council was not in favor. Council at the time was not in favor of paying this, as it was felt that she was already being compensated through the CDC, which was part of her job. Since then, the arm of Kelsey has paid the entire invoice and is now requesting reimbursement for the town's share. Randy's made some comments here. There was no agreement to pay for services. It was noted by previous council that work was done while employed by the CDC. No details to the breakdown of hours and work done. As departmental head recommendation, not to pay the invoice as previous council's recommendation.
I agree. I mean, if we didn't approve the spending, invoicing for a second time, shouldn't change your mind unless we've got additional information, so I would support not paying this invoice.
I agree.
Same.
There's a process, and we're nickel and diming there trying to figure out where to find money, so to pay someone that never got permission to pay in the first place is kind of a tough sell.
Pays for the bottom half of the sign.
Yeah.
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 I agree, yeah, I would, it's unfortunate that Councillor Zelinski isn't here this evening to give us the history on it, you know. I find it somewhat surprising that the RM has room in their budget to pick up this invoice without first clearing it with the other parties in the tri-council. So I wouldn't agree to paying this one either. So we'll send them a letter and with our declining to pay?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Tidy Up Tuesdays.
A letter in the mail today.
I had brought forward the idea of Tidy Up Tuesday, and council was in favor of moving forward with this. The committee was created. The committee met on Monday, April 15th, and the following was discussed. Tidy Up Tuesday would run from May 21st to September 3rd. This will be for the downtown area. Tidy Up Tuesday kits will be made available to the public. Letters have gone out asking for sponsors or donations towards the kits. Letters have gone out asking for sponsors for coffee breaks, and we'll be looking into creating a creating hashtag the Paw Tidy Up Tuesday for social media. I have already heard back from RHA, and they will supply the kits for Sharps as
Good.
well.
Good.
I haven't heard back from anyone else. I am meeting with Trent from Chamber tomorrow to discuss this, as they want to be a partner. The committee further discussed expanding on this, and the count needs the rest of council's input. Their thoughts were get the schools involved at some point, get residential area involved and have a competition, community pride house. One day have all town employees do nothing but clean up the town, pick garbage, clean sidewalks, paint, have a free landfill day, and end with a big party or community barbecue. My recommendation was continue moving forward with Tidy Up Tuesday, but I'll need help moving forward if council's in favor of doing the rest of the committee's ideas. I don't want to get carried away and not have Tidy Up Tuesday be a huge success, getting other stuff involved, but it's something council can discuss, and I'm sure Chambers might help and go further with it.
Gloves and garbage bags as well.
Well, I think it fits in, sorry, Carrie.
That's okay, I'm done.
I think it fits into what we've been talking about, pride and getting people more out and involved in their community, and I agree, Jen, I mean, we don't wanna try to do a whole pile of stuff and never get anything done. But once we get one item going, you know, trying to get the schools involved, and, you know, I believe that all the managers have, you know, can create a day where you can tie it into some sort of event. And recognizing positive changes in our community, especially around neighborhoods and stuff, and, you know, that would be, I think, a good step forward. I think you got a darn good committee there too, so, good committee there, yeah.
Yeah, good committee.
Okay, so I think we all agree it's a great idea,
Yeah.
okay? Will you be able to bring in some helpers, you
I
think?
hope it's still,
Okay,
Yep.
all right, so.
so move forward with all of it.
Move forward.
Free landfill day,
The free landfill day, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
okay.
Right?
Big party or community barbecue, is the town gonna sponsor for that?
Well, I think we gotta
Sponsor
work
that,
through the
or-
plans here, I mean, this
Okay.
is a general idea right now, I don't know if we have to pick the day today and know exactly what we're gonna do, but,
Okay,
you
as
know,
long
I
as
think.
council's all on board with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just
Yeah.
wait back in here on some of the, like I received my letter
Yeah.
in the mail today. So who knows this, if each business
Yeah.
decides to pitch something
Oh, yeah,
in,
for sure, yep,
this whole thing could be free.
okay.
That's right.
Okay, this was just more of an update.
Good,
Okay.
no,
So-
excellent.
Let me know when your next committee meeting is.